How many people were actually asking for Jermall Charlo versus Caleb Plant? Seriously, like honestly, were you? It's not a fight you need to let marinate. Just have them fight each other. Okay, we're back with some boxing today. Apologies for taking a while to get back to boxing, but if you've been following me at all, you know what I've been doing, and that's covering the hell out of the NBA playoffs. We've been doing watch-alongs at the New York Post YouTube channel. Every single Knicks playoff game, the Knicks are now eliminated, so I have a little bit of more time to do this, but it was a great opportunity. We're going to be doing more of those, hopefully, and appreciate all of you guys for checking in. It's obviously taken some time away from the channel, but you know, we're back to trying to be consistent here a little bit more. And admittedly, boxing was pretty flat throughout May, outside of the beginning where there was all this noise about the Times Square card and the Canelo card and the Inoue card, and really only Inoue versus Cardenas delivered. This past week, a couple of major things happened in the 168-pound division. One was Jaime Munguia's positive PED test. We'll get to that. And also on Saturday, Caleb Plant was upset. And boxing really needs to stop doing this, where you have two guys fighting on the same card who are not fighting each other, but should be, and they're in the same weight class, and we're letting the fight overly marinate because this can happen. And also, by the way, Wilder versus Joshua is one thing. How many people were actually asking for Jermall Charlo versus Caleb Plant? Seriously, like honestly, were you? Like, I'm not dying. I haven't been thinking for years, like, oh, Jermall Charlo versus Caleb Plant, just because he slapped them, especially after word got out that they allegedly pieced it up since. It's not a fight you need to let marinate. Just have them fight each other. So we start off here May 31st in Vegas, Michelob Ultra Arena. See it right here. Caleb Plant loses to Jose Rosendez. Split decision. Should not have been a split decision. Should have been unanimous. I thought Rosendez won 8, maybe even 9 of the 12 rounds. I didn't think it was particularly all that close. Caleb Plant looked like shit, and it made me, or reminded me, of what Caleb Plant looked like in the Trevor McCumbee fight. Jermall Charlo beats Thomas Lamana. This wasn't a great Jermall Charlo performance. Thomas Lamana was somebody who was quite overmatched, and you knew this because if you follow boxing at all, while he did compile a winning streak, there was a first round knockout loss here to Erislandy Lara from 4 years ago. You got a loss to Brian Mendoza, Jorge Cota, and look, if you're from the Northeast like I am, if you're from the New York, New Jersey area, I'm from New York. I'm born and raised in Queens, and also spent a lot of time in Brooklyn. But you know, Thomas Lamana fights locally in New Jersey a lot, and that's where he's built up an impressive record. But Jermall Charlo is somebody who should take care of him, and he did, even though it wasn't a spectacular performance, admittedly. Jermall Charlo here is still undefeated, 34-0, 23 knockouts, 35 years old at this point. And it's like, I'm not necessarily dying to see him fight Caleb Plant. I'm dying to see Jermall Charlo just fight, period. Because you see here, there's a year and a half of inactivity leading up to this fight, leading up to his return against Jose Benavidez, where he just returned from that. So he keeps having returns all the time. His return for the Jose Benavidez fight, that was a 2.5-year layoff. And before that, you had 9 months with Sergey Derevianchenko. Obviously, there's a lot of issues. Okay, so I wanted to look back at Caleb Plant versus Trevor McCumbee before we circle back to Rosendez. Stick with me here. It's worth noting this was his first fight since the David Benavidez loss, after the David Benavidez loss. He lost to David Benavidez in March of 2023, beat Trevor McCumbee by TKO September of 2024. So that's a 1.5-year layoff. And this past fight against Rosendez was the first time we saw Caleb Plant. That was for a WBA interim super middleweight title. We'll round up to that too. 8-month difference. McCumbee was finding a home for that overhand right. Plant misses that left hook. Look at that. Inside. So Caleb Plant's trying to get out of the way of this. Boom. He sees that uppercut coming, but he eats it still. Knocks him off balance very, very slightly, but he's able to hang on there. He's able to clinch. Now watch this, McCumbee, another right hand. He kept landing this overhand right a little bit more than you would want. I guess we're breaking out into a mini film study here. And then look, this was surprising to me. I remember being like, oh, okay. But it looked like it was heading in this direction. So boom, boom, double left hook. Doesn't quite get all of the first one, it appears. Sets us up with the jab, backs Plant up. And then as Plant is trying to evade this other shot, boom, take that with you. It didn't look like he was in dire straits, but he was absolutely down at this point of the fight before he turned it around. Okay. And obviously he turned it around and got the stoppage. Let's be fair to Caleb Plant and let's go to the stoppage. He starts picking it up. Round 8. By this time, he's in a rhythm. He responds and starts winning every round. Like it's like the knockdown woke him up, Felix Trinidad style, although obviously not quite as explosive. Doing some good work in the corner here, keeping up that pressure. Forgetting how much of a showman Mukumbi was in this fight. Round 9. Round 9 is where it ends. See how Caleb Plant got there. Okay. We'll get back to Rosendez in a sec. There's a body shot. 1-2. You see the swelling on Mukumbi's face. Oh, there's few shots I appreciate more than a great uppercut after going to the body once or twice, especially when that opponent's on the ropes, because you just pop their head up. Look at this. Right, left, boom. I love the double left hand that ends with an uppercut. Love the double left hand combination that ends with an uppercut. This is just basic. Like, it feels so good when you're doing this in training, obviously. Also, right, left hook to the body, all to set this up. Bang! Pop your head off, and just keeping on that pressure. Very comfortable on the inside here is Caleb Plant. Good left hook. Measuring now. You know you're in a rhythm when you're measuring like this. Getting out of the way of all these shots. Referee stops it. Fast forward. I'm only going to show one clip from this fight because I think I might get flagged. But we'll take the risk. We'll do it for the people. Here's Caleb Plant getting rocked in round 6 against Rosendez. Deeper into the fight. Yeah, gas tank was not great there. Look at this. Boom. Straight right. That'll knock you off balance. Staggers backwards, trying to get a hold. Rosendez is teeing off. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. Caleb Plant badly hurt in round 6, as it says here. And then if you look at Charlo, because remember, we got to go back to super middleweight before the knockdown, before the second, or was it second or third? I lost count. Round 2, here's Jermall Charlo knocking down Thomas Lamana. Overhand right, boom. Very simple. Misses that left hook, and then boom on the inside. No defense there worth noting. Here's a knockdown in round 5. Lamana just did not have it. Boom. Straight right hand. Didn't even look all that tough. Like, we've seen Charlo hit guys a lot harder, but look at his face. He's cooked. Absolutely cooked. Let's look at the right hand again. Boom. Through the guard too. Sergio Mora's tweet: if boxers don't train around Mexicans in gyms or spar them in camp consistently, they will continue to overlook and get caught off guard when they finally fight a tough, well-prepared Mexican fighter. Some people took this as a dig at Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant lost to Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez, and Jose Rosendez. Do with that what you will. You have Caleb Plant and Jermall Charlo, a fight that you're letting marinate. And it's something that needs to stop. Have we not learned from Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua? That's just a more recent example. There have been plenty of examples in boxing history of letting fights marinate too much, to the point where if you finally get them, it's less interesting, or to the point where you don't get them at all. Another one is Jaime Munguia versus Edgar Berlanga, or Jaime Munguia versus maybe even Caleb Plant. Here we go. A representative from Mongia's team told ESPN Knockout commentator Salvador Rodriguez on Thursday that they received a notification from the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association on Wednesday night regarding an exogenous testosterone metabolites in test A, and that they will officially respond. The representative from Mongia's team said they will soon request that test B be open, and we're going to know very soon what that B sample says. It's going to be important. But oftentimes when you test positive for steroids, it means you did them. Often. Not all the time, but often. Jaime Munguia says he was tested twice during training camp. Both came back negative, which is why the VADA notification has been a complete surprise to me. To close that quote, he added that he's willing to undergo any retroactive, current, or future testing to demonstrate that he's always been clean. Bruno Saras ain't buying that shit. He wants the defeat to be overturned. I would too if I had an O and I let it go because someone was testing positive. for a banned substance. I get it. Totally get it. I went to Mexico and knocked out Mongia fair and square in December, and I was gracious enough to give him a rematch in May. He knew that he could not beat me on a level playing field. I trust that this result will be overturned immediately. He didn't have to offer the rematch. Now, granted, I'm sure he got the biggest purse of his life, as much money as he's ever had for that fight, or something close. But probably, if we're being honest, given the circumstances around the fight, where it was, who put it together, all these different things, yeah, he probably got a shit ton of money for it. But still, didn't have to take the fight. Didn't have to, even if his hand was forced. He did. He lost. But it looks like it was unjust. So now we'll end here. This is a fucking mess. So we have Canelo Alvarez having every title, Rosendez, the interim title. Not all the rankings are updated, by the way, following the events of Saturday night, but there seems to be a clear update here for the WBA, whose title was being fought, interim title was being fought over. You have Jermall Charlo at number 2. You have Caleb Plant at number 4. You have Edgar Berlanga here at number 5. Jaime Munguia, number 5, IBF. Number 2, WBC, because we're still waiting that B sample. It's going to be key. We'll see what happens there. And also, number 3, WBO. Bruno Saras, who was ranked much higher before the loss, dropped to 8th in the IBF. Not even in the top 15 in the WBA. Not even in the top 15 in the WBC. And for the WBO, he is number 8. This gets reversed. He gets his O back. We're talking about him really firmly in the mix for a championship opportunity. Don't know who it's going to be against, because don't know what the future of 168 is going to hold, but this division is an absolute mess. Christian Mbili has a fight coming up. It's not a particularly very interesting one. He should take care of his opponent, which is right here, Sulecki. You remember him from fighting Danny Jacobs a while ago and losing. In fact, I was at that fight. Yeah, April 28th, 2018, Barclays Center. Danny Jacobs, unanimous decision. And he dropped Sulecki in the 12th round. Christian Mbili should take care of him. Should, but we'll see. Diego Pacheco and Christian Mbili could have fought. It's not happening. Each party blames the other. That's boxing. But this division right here, I have no idea what the future of it is going to be. I just know that Edgar Berlanga is going to fight Hamza Shiraz in New York City, where I'm from, in Queens, where I'm from. And that's going to be next month. I might try to go cover that in person, but we'll see. We'll see how my schedule works out. And then Osles Iglesias, I think, is the guy to really pay attention to here in this division. He's good. Like, real good. Like, I know William School had that opportunity against Canelo Alvarez, and William School dropped all the way to 11, despite having an IBF title after that fight. Those were 2 separate sentences, all the way to 11. And he's not in the top 15 anywhere else. Because I was saying before, I was like, Osles Iglesias is the best Cuban in this weight class. He's the best one. He's the guy to really watch out for here as a dark horse. But Jermall Charlo and Caleb Plant still says he's open to fighting Jermall Charlo. I mean, look, I'll watch it. What's a better option for Jermall Charlo right now? Would you rather have him fight Lester Martinez? Would you rather have him fight Callum Simpson? Because I don't think PBC is going to put him in there with Diego Pacheco. I don't think PBC is going to put him in there with a lot of the guys here, judging by what we just saw. Thomas Lamana, I know it's a comeback fight, but seriously, dude, just put Charlo versus Plant. We would want to see it. And by the way, I'm not sure that Caleb Plant is totally out of that fight. He'll be an underdog and probably a heavy one now, but Rosendez is tough. It's pretty good. It's not an awful upset. I mean, Caleb Plant was way overvalued. It was like minus 1,600, but still. This division's a mess. Just look at it. Just look at it. Just look at these rankings. It is what it is. Boxing is boxing. We'll be back with more on the channel very soon. Keyshawn Davis has a fight this week. After the fight, we might talk about it. See what happens. Although he's fighting Edwin De Los Santos. And how is Edwin De Los Santos getting a title shot after being away from a year and a half and losing his last fight, which was also a title shot and one of the most boring fights we've ever seen? The sport is a sport. Love-hate relationship with the sport, as you can tell. Comment, let me know what you think about any of this. More to come.